Happy New Year, Mr. Don Backstrom.
Thank you. I sure appreciate it. All is well?
All is well. All is well within my soul. All is well.
You should make a song out of that. Oh,
No, there is already a song.
I think that's
There,
all.
there is a song.
That is, I know. That's why I said it.
Yeah, it's all is well with my soul.
Well, within my soul.
Uh-huh.
It's true too.
Hello there, this is your student trustee. How you doing?
I'm doing great. How are you?
Hey, I'm here. I'm happy.
Here and happy. That's
Yes,
a,
I am.
that's a good combo. That's great.
Hey,
Blessed. Yes.
that is true. I'm so happy. Not now, phone, please. Okay, let's see.
Okay, I see the majority of our team. Ms. Paula, are you ready? Actually, I don't see Dr. Curry on.
Okay, I couldn't unmute. I'm ready.
Give me a second. I'm just making sure that Dr. Curry is, yeah, he's on. All right. It is 5:01 and we are reconvening this meeting. Ms. Paula, can you do a roll call?
Okay. Trustee Calhoun, Dr. LeBlanc,
Present.
Andres Ramos,
Present.
Dr. Little,
Present.
Trustee Atkins. Trustee Atkins,
Present.
Trustee Lopez.
Present.
Thank you.
All right. Moving on, Dr. LeBlanc, will you lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance?
Oh, absolutely. Let me get my flag. Okay, everyone, right hand over your hearts. Ready, begin.
I pledge allegiance
to
to the flag
of the
of the United States of America
and
and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for some.
Thank you.
All right, moving on to item number 6, reports of actions. There is nothing to report. Item number 7, approval of open session agenda. Can I get a motion?
So moved.
Second.
It's been moved by Dr. Little and seconded by Trustee Ramos. Do we have any discussion?
Yes, I had a question on the meeting dates. Have they been updated?
The next meeting is scheduled for February 16th.
Is that correct? Is
February
that a
16th.
Wednesday?
That's a Tuesday.
Are you sure? Please look.
It is a Tuesday.
It is a Tuesday.
Okay, look at March.
March 16th is also a Tuesday.
Okay, so it has been updated.
That's the date that we originally had.
That was the original dates?
Uh-huh.
Okay, great, thank you.
Okay, moving on, see no further discussion. Ms. Paula, roll call.
Trustee Calhoun,
Aye.
Dr. LeBlanc,
Aye.
Trustee Ramos,
Aye.
Dr. Little,
Aye.
Trustee Atkins,
Aye.
Trustee Lopez.
Aye.
Thank you.
All right, There are no recognitions for today's board meeting. Moving on to item number 9, request to address the Board of Trustees on agenda and non-agenda matters. Ms. Paula.
Oh, excuse me, one moment. Okay. I have here request to speak from Gerald Warren. He is in our department. We have 4 from him. First one from January 1st. How much experience does a person need to be a plumber at Compton Community College District? Here is a list of a few things I have done over the years of service. Airlines in Voc Tech, 4-inch gas line by maintenance department, commercial water heater in cafeteria, and drainage system. The list goes on. Plus, I went back for my certificate of completion. If I need more, let me know. 10 years plumber, assistant 1-year plumber. Next one from Gerald Warren says, I will be attending class this semester for my journeyman certificate. The next one is dated January 3rd. When are the trades coming back to Compton Community College District? And will I get promoted back to my original position as plumber? And there is still a lot of work that needs to be done. This next one is dated January 12th from Gerald Warren. I thought all positions at Compton Community College District were essential to the development of our future students, community, and staff. I was told as a tradesman, I make too much money. Question, is that true? Don't we need staff members with specific skills on staff at Compton Community College District? And the last one is dated January 13th from Gerald Warren. Why can I not be restored to be a plumber at Compton Community College to serve the students in my community, which I serve? That is all. Those are the only requests I have.
Got it. Okay, moving on to item 9.02, Compton Community College District Board of Trustees future agenda items. I'll open it up to the board members, starting with Dr. LeBlanc.
No additional items.
Thank you. Moving on to Trustee Ramos.
No items, thank you.
Moving on to Trustee Calhoun.
I was wondering, Dr. Curry said it would be a future agenda item about having classes for pipe fitters, drywall, electrician, plumbing. But as you, in such a like that with the unions, he said he'd get back. And he's already talked about St. John's and COVID-19 and possibly doing testing. I know he's working with St. John's, and I know that St. John's is working with the county. So that was that.
So
and
on this, just wanted to clarify this on the 2 topics you said you wanted a, an update on trade training, and then the other one was COVID.
Yes, he already told me about it. It's in the works with St. John's, working with the county to bring testing to our site. So he told us he'll give us an update on it later. And then the other one was he still haven't given the update on the covering that was for the police department that I had been asking about.
Yeah, that will be coming soon. I got the information. I just need to send through a follow-up email, but I have that one.
And then I know that we have had on our campus, look like it's becoming more. And Not ask, we don't need names. I'm not asking that. I just like to know what type of deep cleaning, if you could bring it back to the board as an agenda item, what type of deep cleaning that we are doing in the offices. And if the people are just getting their temperature taken, you know, they could still be asymptomatic. They could come in, temperature's fine, and 2 days later they can have COVID. And so what are the things that we're actually doing? That's, I think, is about it.
All right. Dr. Little?
Yes, I just wanted to continue to have, excuse me, the update about the survey that's going to be done with the different focus groups that we had a discussion about in our retreat.
Oh, that lady.
Yeah, I sent the email out to the, okay, I will follow back up, but there's an email that I sent out before the holiday regards to the study. And so I will follow back up with that email.
Sure, just the status.
Yeah.
All right, thank you very much, everyone. Moving on to item number 10, Board of Trustees meeting minutes. Can I get a motion?
So moved.
Second.
It's been moved by Dr. LeBlanc and seconded by Trustee Ramos. Do we have any discussion? Starting off with Dr. LeBlanc. And I see that you raised your hand, Dr. Curry. I'll come to you.
Okay, I have no discussion.
All right, Trustee Ramos.
No comment.
Trustee Calhoun.
No.
Dr. Little.
No, thank you.
Dr. Curry.
So Trustee Board President Lopez brought to our attention a couple edits to the minutes. One is for the members that were from Linwood Unified who were named. Gary Hardy's last name was spelled incorrectly. We'll fix that, and then also including the honorable before the elected official's name. And so we'll make those corrections, those minor corrections.
All right. Thank you. All right. Seeing none. Corrections that Ms. Paula, can you do a roll call?
Trustee Calhoun,
Aye.
Dr. LeBlanc,
Aye.
Trustee Ramos,
Aye.
Dr. Little,
Aye.
Trustee Atkins,
Aye.
Trustee Lopez.
Aye.
Thank you.
All right, moving on to item number 11, presentations. We have a diversity, equity, and inclusion. Dr. Curry.
Yeah, so tonight we're very excited about the presentation on diversity, equity, and inclusion. As most board members know, we have a couple board members who serve on statewide and national task force regards to our national committees and task force regards to diversity, equity, and inclusion. So tonight we have Tina Cooperman, who's our Director of Title IX Diversity and Compliance, and also Pilar Hoffman, who's our Professional Development Manager, providing an update of what we're doing in regards to DEI to the Board of Trustees. So I'll hand it over to them.
All right, thank you so much, Dr. Curry. Lauren, would it be possible for me to share my screen so I can utilize my PowerPoint and notes?
No, Tina, I'll move it forward for you.
All right, give me 1 second then. Okay, so today's presentation is on diversity, equity, and inclusion. My name is Tina Cooperman. I'm the Director of Diversity, Compliance, and Title IX, and I am joined by my colleague, Pilar Huffman, who is our Professional Development Manager. Next slide, please. So our overview for today will include the mission of Compton College. So exactly why diversity is important. We'll talk about the ghosts in the machine. So what it means are some of the DEI issues that we will face at our institution. We will look at the report from the USC Center for Urban Education, also known as CUE, and I will provide a status update on that, as well as the Compton Community College District Resolution, as well as the call to action. We will discuss the current status of our partnership with USC Race and Equity Center, as well as our most recent diversity initiative with the Chancellor's Office, known as IEPI, or the Institutional Effectiveness Partnership Initiative. And then finally, I will be handing it over to Pilar, who will talk a little bit more about professional development. Next slide, please. So we know that diversity brings many benefits, including new perspectives and innovation, that diverse classrooms promote creativity, motivation, deeper learning, critical thinking, and problem-solving skills. DEI matters also because it is embedded within our mission and our very core. Next slide. However, ghosts exist at every organization, and we do not ignore them. So these are the privilege, the microaggressions, the implicit biases, everything you see here. And instead of ignoring it, we choose to face them head on, and I will address in later slides how that is done. All right, next slide, please. Okay, so the next couple of slides are going to be about our new hire data. So take a look at these slides. They show our new hires over the past 5 years, with 2020 being the most recent. The first several slides will show new hire data by race. So based on the colors, you can see, for example, the red shows our Hispanic and Latino new hires based on the year. Next slide. So it's also important that we disaggregate this data, right? So not just in thinking about the race of our new hires overall, but what about the race of our faculty? Next slide. As well as the classified information over the past 5 years. And then finally, the racial demographics of our administrator new hires over time from 2016 to 2020. Next slide, please. So in addition to racial data, we also have data by sex. So just like the first slide you saw, this is the way our employees are divided by sex. Next slide. Thank you. So for faculty, once again, we've divided it into faculty, excellent, classified, and administrators. Thank you so much. All right, we can go on. So I know there's a lot of text on this one, so just bear with me. I just went over the new hire data, and as you may recall, last year Q gave a presentation on how to increase diversity in our hiring practices. We have taken each recommendation into account. The first recommendation is using race-conscious and equity-minded language. I am in the process of reviewing our current library of full-time and part-time faculty job announcements and descriptions, and should have that completed by the end of the month before rewriting those identified that have equity deficient language. When you look at the next bullet point, the next recommendation is to disaggregate data by race, which you just saw in our data section. This ties into the third Apple bullet point about the goal of having faculty racial demographics reflect those of the student population. Our job announcements are posted on CCC Registry, as well as PRISM, an online platform for higher educational professionals of color and institutions looking to diversify their workforce. The last two recommendations on this page relate to building partnerships with local graduate programs. And faculty developing a faculty pipeline program. I have a specific slide later in this report where we will discuss our partnership with USC. All right. So this is not the end. There were a lot of recommendations, a lot of great recommendations. The next one is on providing professional development on racial equity. So this is something that Pilar will discuss in greater detail in her section, and something that was a priority in our recent IEPI project. The next two recommendations both focus on communication. So we know how stressful a job interview is. So prior to the start of the interview, the committee introduces themselves to the candidates, welcomes them, and thanks them for their participation. I provide the candidate with an overview of the process and what they can expect. So to the extent possible, we try to make that experience as comfortable as possible for our candidates. Q recommends candidates receive the questions by email 1 week in advance of their interview date. Now, we are in the process of reviewing the feasibility of implementing this recommendation and transitioning this practice to current HR workflow. So I will provide an update on that in July. And then finally, with the bell icon, you can see that Dr. Curry has gone above and beyond this last recommendation for monthly or quarterly newsletter updates. He sends out bi-weekly emails to employees so that everyone can stay up to date on what is currently happening at Compton College. Okay, so in June of last year, this board affirmed Compton Community College District's commitment to faculty and staff diversity. So the resolution's key points include implementing diversity initiatives, which we can already see are well underway, maintaining a climate of respect, civility, and inclusion. So in the fall 2019, the board adopted the Compton College's Statement of Civility and Mutual Respect. During our Spring 2020 Professional Development Day, our keynote speaker provided a presentation titled Civility Champion, Building a Happy Workplace. Now, after that presentation, we established the Civility Champion Award to honor outstanding Compton Community College District members whose contributions demonstrate a commitment to self-reflection, care, empathy, and respect while acknowledging the culture and humanity of others. So this spring, we will be presenting the Civility Champion Awards for the second time this year, or for the second year. And each recipient will be recognized by the Board of Trustees at the June board meeting. We also have supporting the Chancellor's Office Task Force, which is divided into 3 levels: on an institutional level, interactional, and individual. Many of the recommendations are already in practice, and those in development have a detailed action plan outlining next steps. And last but not least, the resolution calls for the board to annually review our EEO standards. Our next review is scheduled for July. Next slide. Thank you. So in June 2020, the Chancellor issued a call to action to strategize and implement concrete actions against structural racism, poverty, and social injustice. Specifically, the Chancellor's office call asks for system-wide mobilization around these 6 areas. So when we look at number 1, this is regarding law enforcement and first responder training. We will be establishing a task force for an equitable approach to community safety and health, which will review all of Compton College Police Department's policies, procedures, and staffing plans, with the goal of removing or amending those policies or practices or other direction that correlate with the inequitable application of justice, or stand contrary to our imperative to create an equity-minded and safe environment for all. The second area is hosting open dialogues and addressing campus climate. So 2 Fridays ago, we hosted an open discussion for our employees on the incident that occurred at the nation's capital. Last year, we also hosted an open discussion regarding Breonna Taylor. We will continue to utilize these forums as an opportunity to collectively heal from tragedies. For number 3, the Academic Senate has called for the creation of the Call to Action Curriculum Task Force. Over the next 2 years, the task force will review all Compton College courses to examine anti-racism, diversity, equity, and inclusion in our curriculum. The asterisk refers to an area of focus that will be part of the Trustee Fellowship Intersection Project, which you see at the bottom there. Number 4, recognizing the importance of welcoming and honoring all voices on campus in the equity plan. The Compton College's Student Success Committee will review the plan, provide insight, and make updates. The revised equity plan is expected to be presented to the Board of Trustees in March of this year. For item 5, you can see from the updates that I have already provided that many of these recommendations already have been implemented. And then for 6, we have the Vision Resource Center, which I will address in our IEPI section. Next slide, please. Okay, so moving on to our partnership with USC, it's twofold. So first is membership in the Alliance. Now, membership in the Alliance has many perks. The first is the ability for Compton College to send up to 5 individuals each month to monthly e-convening sessions focused on race and equity. This month's topic will be on recruiting and hiring faculty of color. That is expected to take place January 25th from 1 to 4 p.m. Second bullet, the center is developing an online repository of resources and tools for Alliance member colleges, downloadable equity-related rubrics, readings, case studies, videos, anything you can think of that's accessible to all employees. The portal is expected to go live early this year, and we will post a link to that portal on our professional development website for easy access once it is live. Finally, the last bullet, the center will be conducting 3 campus climate surveys on a 3-year rotational basis. So the first year, a student survey, second year, a staff survey, a third year, faculty survey. So the surveys will measure areas such as belonging and inclusion, cross-cultural interactions, different isms, so racism, sexism, etc., and appraisals of the college's commitment to equity. We will be administering the first student survey this spring. Right. Next slide. So the second part of this partnership with USC is the Faculty Prep Academy. So the Compton College Faculty Prep Academy is designed to decrease racial and gender gaps among our faculty so that students can thrive in an inclusive and supportive educational environment and learn from faculty who can provide varied and thoughtful perspectives and experiences. So this goes back to one of the key recommendations we saw earlier on. Now, the idea is that students pursuing graduate degrees in academic fields that would be taught at Compton College would be targeted for this initiative. So these graduate students will be able to participate in full-time faculty work at community colleges where they'll learn about equity principles and have a faculty mentor to guide them through. And the goal here is to be able to, once these bright minds graduate, is that they will come back and teach at Compton College or other community colleges. The application and selection process are anticipated to be completed early this year, and there will be 2 cohorts, one in January 2021 and another in 2022, each with 30 participants. All right. Thank you. So we've reached the last part of my section before I hand it over to Pilar. In July 2020, Compton College applied for assistance from a mini partnership resource team, PERT, or mini PERT as they say, to strengthen its professional development opportunities, specifically to diversity, equity, and inclusion. The mini PERT visited us in November of last year. They met with our faculty, our classified, our managers, and they provided several recommendations for creating this area of focus, right? A permanent, robust, and coordinated infrastructure for professional development, emphasizing diversity, equity, and inclusion. So the first goal here is to utilize the Vision Resource Center as our professional development opportunity, which also ties back to the Chancellor's Office call to action. The goal is to have 100% of our employees and the Compton Community College District Board of Trustees participating in the Vision Resource Center by March of this year. The second objective is to implement our train the trainer model because we recognize that we have a lot of wisdom right here within Compton College's faculty, and we need to nourish their growth. The third bullet, increasing working knowledge of DEI issues will be something I will let Pilar talk about. She will be providing a list of all the learning opportunities that have been provided to our employees. For number 4, The most recent example of our participation in nationwide and statewide webinars is the A2Men Conversations, or the African American Male Education Network and Development. So it's important to learn not just from within Compton, but also from outside, right? So we can get those unique perspectives. And then finally, we want to build infrastructure for workshop and training participants to have open dialogues and brown bag sessions on lessons learned. The goal is to record and post on our DEI website information collected from these lessons so that we can have and establish a repository that will be known as our Digital Equity Library. And with that, I am going to turn it over to Pilar Huffman.
Thank you, Tina. So Compton College's professional development objective as it relates to diversity, equity, and inclusion, also known as DEI, is to ensure that professional development trainings educate faculty, staff, and administrators in issues of social equity and the ability to speak each across differences as part of the college's commitment to inclusive community, diverse engagement, academic excellence, and self-transformation. Next slide, please. All right, so what you see here is our professional development structure. In November 2019, Compton College hired me as the professional development manager. In March 2020, Compton College hired professional development liaisons. We currently have 2, and we are seeking more in spring of 21. In April of 2020, Compton College created a professional development task force. And in September 2020, Compton College Professional Development Committee structure was completed and transformed. So as you can see, we have myself, the PD manager, the professional development liaisons, the professional development task force, and then our new PD committee structure, which includes the Professional Learning and Engagement Committee, the Faculty Development Committee, the Classified Development Committee, and Management Development Committee. Next slide, please. So we've been doing a lot of DEI professional development learning here at Compton College, and it's an ongoing process. So as you can see listed, we have implicit bias training that we've had. We've had how to be an ally to men of color, different allyship training, safe zone training, EEO training, and even an upcoming Black African American Student Success Workshop that we will host in spring of 21. Next slide, please. Are there any questions?
So I wanted to open it up. Trustee Benson?
Yes, one question I wanted to ask, Tina, regarding of the, your first presentation, how that's gonna work, would that be open for students or only for, staff and faculties?
Which part of the presentation were you referencing?
The, I should have wrote it down, I thought I was just paying attention. It's the one when you first open it. I've got to look back, let's see. Right there, go back, go down. Go back, go down one more.
Mm-mm.
The one that has the picture in the graduation, the one with the student with graduating.
That's under the mission?
Yes,
Under the mission.
yes. Yeah, that part right there, that's the mission, that one, excuse me, that's open for faculty, staff, and students, or just for faculty and staff?
So the mission of our college is to provide a welcoming and inclusive community, right? So it's I interpret it as like for all of our community, so that anyone who steps foot here will feel invited and will feel like their thoughts and their feelings are respected.
Okay, thank you. That's all I have, Madam President.
All right, Dr. LeBlanc.
First of all, let me thank you for the presentation. I was delighted to see how you integrated the racial demographics into your presentation, and it showed that it was updated with some current events, like you talked about Breonna Taylor and the most recent disturbance we had at our nation's capital on January 6th. And so I was really pleased to see that it wasn't just a generic presentation, but that the presentation was fluent and that you were able to adjust it to the times. I was interested in wondering if you were going to, through your IEPI, if you would have an opportunity to do a more comprehensive, maybe mock training with the board on, some of the procedures that you use in with your professional development. Might be something that the board may want to look at, as we move down the road here, because it's something that's very timely. And I really appreciate the presentation and would like to learn more about some of the models that you are utilizing.
So can I jump in on just a little bit, Dr. LeBlanc? I want to just answer that a little bit. We're talking about implicit bias training for the board members, but I think at the next board meeting, we can have a follow-up conversation with regards to the professional development that's connected to IEPI and what are some of our strategies that we'll be implementing, so you can get to know some of the details of that. And we can talk about that in the next board meeting during the open session, and we have that as discussion action. So then we can find out what training the board is looking for regards to DEI.
Excellent. Thank you. And thank you for the presentation.
Moving on to Trustee Ramos.
I just wanted to say thank you for the presentation. It was very detailed. The charts were helpful. And also, I was impressed with all the workshops that you listed, that you've given and that you're planning to give. So thank you for your hard work. I really enjoyed this presentation.
Trustee Calhoun.
Yeah. Yes. I have a very, very in-depth PowerPoint. When you talked about Breonna Taylor and what happened on January the 6th, well, the riot, what was the outcome of that? How did they talk about how they felt or what they thought about it?
So what I can share about those sessions was that it was an open space for people, right? And obviously these events had greatly impacted the hearts of our community. And so a lot of people came in with heavy hearts. And as you know, sometimes talking about it in a group and sharing in itself is a very healing process. Right. So obviously we can't just cure it with like an hour's worth of times, but we did provide our employees with resources to ease, as well as encourage them to continue to share these feelings with their loved ones so that this conversation continues beyond just the 1 hour we had.
Right. And with the DEI, and myself and Dr. Little, we're on DEIs. And one of the things that we have been discussing about the hiring practices, right? I know you brought it about hiring, and I think you said in January, I don't remember. But anyway, one of the things that we have been discussing is when men and women send in their resume, they don't have their name, their age, their gender, or their ethnicity. And so when people are reading the resume, they're reading the qualifications of the person. Because we already know if somebody has a name like Shaniqua, everybody's gonna have to probably assume that they're African American, but not necessarily. So So has there been any discussions where somebody sends in a resume, there's no name, no age, no gender, no ethnicity, and you really won't know who you're interviewing until that person is called in by the HR person that, with the application you pick, it might be a number with their name. I mean, a number or whatever you put with that resume. You wouldn't know any of that until the person showed up, which would give everybody a level, the same level, and no implied bias or no implied color or anything.
So that is an excellent question, Trustee Calhoun. And yes, we have had discussions regarding making these application materials blind, right? But I think a bigger issue that you're addressing, which is implicit bias, is like, once these applications make it through, in the interview, you're still going to see the candidate for who they are. And so one of the major points we've discussed is providing those implicit bias trainings to our hiring committees so that it's done right the first time, right? They would be trained to recognize that and yet to be able to be fair in the exercise of their judgment.
No, they really won't know who that person is until if their appointment is at 10 a.m. When they get to the college and they have their interview, that's when they'll know if the person is African American, Latinx, Caucasian, Samoan, Asian, or whatever. That's what I'm talking about. Yeah, somebody will know, but they won't know until they show up for their interview.
So Trustee Calhoun, I just want to interject a little bit regards to your comments. So as Tina mentioned, we have conversations about the blind read. We're going to be bringing forth the administrative hiring procedure for administrators and also faculty. And that'd be a conversation for the board. I think the board should talk about that as well. But I get the sense, and I don't think you're the only one that would like to see a blind read process, and that a future board meeting, we can talk about that within the hiring procedure. But I don't think you're the only one who feels that way.
Okay.
And because that's where we're moving statewide is regards to the blind read. And I think that's what we want to look at. And if we go that route, it needs to be included in the procedure. So as we begin working on the information we got from Q, the Center for Urban Education, and also the Race and Equity Center, taking into account this conversation as well. So when we come back with administrative regulation, we can talk about that, and the board can be able to provide input of how we move forward on it.
Okay.
Dr. Little.
Thank you so much for the report. And I do have a couple of questions. I want to start where we just left off in terms of the blind review. I definitely see the merit of that, but I'm also very concerned as well with a search committee with the blind review getting a pool that may not reflect the diversity of the students, and how strategically you guys are planning for that, and to what depth the search committees are trained, because they're not HR professionals, but generally speaking, you have faculty doing the hiring. And so my concern is the depth of setting up the most objective structure, even if it's not a full blind read. But as you all discussed very poignantly in terms of the job descriptions being more inclusive, so on and so forth, but it is a conundrum. If you do the blind and then you come up with a pool that doesn't reflect the students, then what do? Because you don't want to send the search committee back to try to broaden it just from a quota perspective, especially after Prop 16. So I would love to hear, and it doesn't have to be tonight, what mitigating, strategies you guys have for that. If we can go back a slide to IE right there. As Trustee Calhoun said, a couple of us are on the statewide task force. And I want to thank again Dr. Curry and Pilar for coming to speak to the subcommittee focused on professional development. And it was very insightful. And in fact, Compton College has been mentioned several times as a model. One of the things that we found was that the Vision Resource Center has not vetted those 9,000 trainings. And I'm just wondering, and again, it doesn't have to be answered tonight, what directives are we giving to our staff, faculty, administrators in terms of determining what are the areas in which we feel are key or priorities for the type of culture and climate we're seeking to create? Is there any uniformity to that, or do they just have to log on and do so many hours? Because again, from our research, they have not been vetted and they have various, I would say, quality. So it would be wonderful to hear about that. And then the train the trainer model for the faculty, who's going to be tracking once that's done, the impact on the curricula? Is it going to be based upon student learning outcomes? Is it going to be based on what? And will it be faculty evaluating faculty? And just how that whole process is going to work in terms of ongoing development and really seeing some change. And then if we can go back a couple of slides to, I think it was the faculty, I'm sorry, right there, the Alliance. So for the convenings, from my understanding as well, is that all of the different community colleges who participate will get some data, but only directed to their school. So will we be able to, like, after we get our campus climate surveys, have any kind of comparative data, like how other, especially our peers, like our local peers, how they are doing as it relates to student demographics, faculty demographics, staff demographics, just any kind of comparative data? That's it.
So Trustee Little, what I like to do, some of your questions we won't be able to answer tonight,
right?
But we will take the notes and provide a board letter as a follow-up to your question, and also the circle back around to Trustee Calhoun's question regards to the blind review, and then include a response to the board as relates to this presentation.
Okay.
If that's okay.
Thank you.
So much, Tina and Pilar, for your presentation. All right, moving on to item number 12, reports from representatives and employees. We are starting off with Associate Student Body report. And do we have our ASB president?
Yes, I'm present.
You have the floor.
I would like to report, of course, good evening, Board of Trustees. My name is Queen Warres Ward. I serve as the Associated Student Body President. I'm here today just to go ahead and provide you guys the ASB report for the month of January. I want to wish everybody a happy new year, and I'm eager definitely to jump into our 2021 year. It definitely has been something that I'm motivated as far as like a campus and our community. Our ASB board has continued to update our ASB constitution and our financial codes and procedures, as well as reviewing any documents that we have for this month for our ASB retreat on the 29th. Again, our retreat this month is going to be January 29th. We also have created an action plan to accomplish ASB goals to continue just for this spring semester, knowing that COVID is definitely an important thing. With COVID being cases and them increasing, over the time that we are during this predicament, we want to go ahead and acknowledge that we promote any of our resources that we have for our students that are available for them to access. In addition to earlier today, me hosting my first, yay, Associated Student Body meeting. I was so eager, only because this is not just any ASB meeting, but this is an executive meeting that we can go ahead and discuss any of the actions that we would like to bring upon or acknowledge during our spring 2021 year. With that meeting hosted, myself, my vice president, and my treasurer. Of course, our advisor, shout out to our advisor with very much great pleasure and acknowledgement to all of the things that we may not necessarily know. The leadership skills that we have displayed this past semester, of course, accumulating those for this upcoming semester, but also acknowledging anything that we can improve or completing for our ASB semester in our spring goals, and that would complete our ASB report for January. Thank you so much for listening, everybody.
Thank you so much for that report. Moving on to Academic Senate report. Let me see if I.
Minodora.
Okay, thank you. I was scrolling, but I appreciate it.
No problem. I actually do not have a report from the Academic Senate. We haven't had any meetings since the very beginning of December. So as soon as the Academic Senate reconvenes at the beginning of the semester, I will be able to provide new updates. Other than that, I wish everyone a very happy new year, and I hope everyone is still safe and healthy and your families are doing well. And we will continue to meet via Zoom for the remainder of this academic year, sadly. But we look forward to see each other in person, hopefully in the fall. Thank you.
Thank you. Moving on to CCCFE Certified Employees Report. Do we have anyone joining us for that report? All right, that's gonna, Dr. Curry, do you know if they were gonna join us or how to report?
Makwa sent me a message today that he was on vacation. So I don't know if someone else from their group was gonna be here.
I'm actually doing the certified, not classified just yet.
All right, I have not received any message from the faculty union.
Got it, okay. And then there was no one for, I mean, what he said for the employees, no one's
He was on vacation, so I don't know if he's gonna send another rep.
Got it. Do we have anyone from CCCFE Classified Employees Report? All right, seeing none, we will move on to item number 13, consent agenda. Can I get a motion?
So moved.
Second.
It's been moved by Dr. Little and seconded by Dr. LeBlanc. Do we have any discussion? And I will start off with Trustee Benson.
No discussion.
All right, Dr. LeBlanc.
No discussion, thank you.
Trustee Ramos.
No discussion.
Trustee Calhoun.
1312.
All right, so we'll put 1312. Okay, go on.
I don't have nothing less until 14, so this is just 13.
1312, got it. All right, Dr. Little, do you have any discussion?
No discussion.
Okay, let's open up 1312. You have the floor, Trustee Calhoun.
I asked Dr. Curry this question, and you ladies, the other board members should have received the questions, the 3 questions that I asked Dr. Curry along with the answer. But the question was, why is it still open? That was the question.
Oh.
It's the PO, the 19210000014 at LDP, the second one. Yes. So Dr. Curry, are you there?
I'm here.
Oh, yeah. So
I'm waiting for you to, if you want me to answer it. You were on the roll, so I was gonna let you just handle it.
oh, okay. Well, anyway, he gave he's going to look into why. Oh no, what is LDP wanted to make sure that the board had approved the payment. And so that's why, something like that.
Yeah, so for the 13.12, this PO, it's interesting because there's a PO that there's on the July board meeting, there's a PO for $14,000, but however, this PO was not approved. So at LACO, through their process, want to verify that the board approved it. So this check has already been cut, which is below the amount that I have authority for. However, they wanted the board to show that it was board approved. That's why this is being brought back from July of 2020.
Trustee Calhoun, do you have any comments or questions?
No.
All right. Seeing nothing further, Ms. Paula, can you call the question?
Trustee Calhoun,
Aye.
Dr. LeBlanc,
Aye.
Dr. Little,
Aye.
Trustee Ramos.
Trustee
Aye.
Ramos?
Aye.
Trustee Atkins,
Aye.
Trustee Lopez.
Aye.
Thank you.
All right, moving on to item number 14, action items. The first up that we have is 14.01, Board of Trustees goals. Can I get a motion?
So moved.
Second.
It's been moved by Dr. LeBlanc and seconded by Dr. Little. Do we have any discussion? Starting off with Trustee Benson.
No discussion.
All right, moving on to Dr. LeBlanc.
No discussion. Thank you.
No problem. Trustee Ramos.
No discussion.
Trustee Calhoun.
You ladies, the board members once again received the question that I asked about 1404. Oh, wait a minute. We're on 1401. Never mind. No,
Yep.
sorry.
No, you're fine. And Dr. Little.
No
All
question.
right. Seeing no further discussion, Ms. Paula, can you do a roll call?
Before you do the vote, can I make a comment on this item?
Of course.
Okay, so one thing I want to make sure to highlight is that the board, after retreat, you approved for these goals to go through June 30th. That means we'll be working this spring on your goals for the next fiscal year will be in alignment with the college. We're also going to be accepting the evaluation summary from the last special meeting that happened in 2020. And we'll be working with Helen Benjamin on the self-evaluation survey instrument. Also, just want you to know that this board meeting was the first time we linked the board goals to each of the agenda items. And in the board packet on board docs in the library, you'll be able to see the tracking of each of the board goals by agenda items. And so that's something we've been working on the last last week. And so I'm really excited about this because now we can be able to track the progress for each of the goals.
And may I just add one thing? So again, just for clarification, when we go through, we'll adapt so that we are on the calendar or academic year.
You'll basically be on the academic, you'll be on the academic
year beginning 21, 22.
21, 22 for July 1, yes.
Okay, and then we'll correlate the various board goals associated, for example, like tonight's great presentation on DEI, how it aligns with our board goals.
Yeah, so if you go to, just an example, can you go back to the presentation for me, Lauren? So on the presentation, you see the link to this goal to your board goals.
Mm-hmm.
And so then you'll be able to track it as well. So there's something that we're working on and it continue to evolve.
Dr. Curry, is that when you click on the library?
Yeah, exactly.
Okay,
You click on the library, you're
I
able
know
to see
that's
it.
what you said, but I didn't think you showed them on your screen, how you click on the library and find it.
Yeah. So Lauren, if you go to library for me, please.
Top right-hand corner. Sorry, yeah.
Library, there you go. And then press strategic goals. And then go to January through June. So let's go, let's hypothetical, go to any one of them. You can press any one, doesn't matter. So you can see the board goal for the agenda items and how it connects. And then from there, when you do your evaluation, you can see what happened. And if the item was voted on, you can be able to see the results from the vote. So this will be a way to track the board goals throughout the year.
Nice, very nice.
All right, do you have any further discussion, Dr. Curry?
No, nothing at all. Thank you.
All right, thank you so much for that. Ms. Paula, can you call the question?
Yes. Trustee Calhoun,
Aye.
Dr. LeBlanc,
Aye.
Dr. Little,
Aye.
Trustee Ramos,
Aye.
Trustee Atkins,
Aye.
Trustee Lopez.
Aye.
Thank you.
No problem. Moving on to item number 14.02, Board of Trustee Vision Statement. Can I get a motion?
So moved.
Second.
It's been moved by Dr. LeBlanc and seconded by Dr. Little. Do we have any discussion? Trustee Benson.
No discussion.
All right, thank you. Dr. LeBlanc,
No discussion.
Trustee Ramos,
No discussion.
Trustee Calhoun,
Which one are we on?
14.02.
Oh, no discussion.
Dr. Little.
No discussion.
Before we move on, Dr. Curry, do you have anything to add?
No, I do not.
All right, thank you very much. Ms. Paula, can you call the question?
Trustee Atkins,
Aye.
Trustee Ramos,
Aye.
Dr. Little,
Aye.
Dr. LeBlanc,
Aye.
Trustee Calhoun,
Aye.
Trustee Lopez.
Aye.
Thank you.
No problem. Moving on to item number 14.03, Administrative Services, Compton Community College District Resolution number 01-19-2021A, budget transfers augmentations for fiscal year 2020 and 2021. Can I get a motion?
So moved.
Second.
It's been moved by Dr. LeBlanc and seconded by Dr. Little. Do we have any discussion? Trustee Benson.
No discussion.
Dr. Little. Sorry, Dr. LeBlanc.
No discussion.
Trustee Ramos.
No discussion.
Trustee Calhoun.
No.
Dr. Little.
No discussion. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Ms. Paula, can you call the question?
Trustee Atkins,
Aye.
Trustee Ramos,
Aye.
Dr. Little,
Aye.
Dr. LeBlanc,
Aye.
Trustee Calhoun,
Aye.
Trustee Lopez.
Aye.
Thank you.
Moving on to item number 14.04, Administrative Services, Contracts over 96,700, Amendment to Securitas Security Services USA Incorporated. Can I get a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Do we have any discussion? Trustee Benson.
Yes, one question I want to ask. If anybody can answer this question. Does anybody know how long will security tasks will be on Compton College campus?
I can't answer that question. Our goal is to have all our police officers hired. And I included that in my response to Trustee Calhoun. Trustee Calhoun had a similar question in regards to Securitas, and also, but she also did do a great job. But she also was curious about when we would have our police officers hired. So our goal is to have our police officers hired as soon as possible. And I included in my response to her, to Trustee Calhoun, where we're at in the process, and we're background check of 3 of the officers. The problem that we had with this contract, not a problem with Securitas, we increased their contract a little bit over the summer as we were trying to figure out this COVID-19 screening to get on campus. And so they did a little bit more work for us because, as most people know, we have a strict process to be able to enter the campus, and Securitas helped us develop that process by providing additional staff. So our goal is to hire our officers so we won't have to utilize Securitas, but I don't know when that's going to be, and it could go into the next fiscal year because we're really trying to hire the additional officers.
Okay.
Trustee Calhoun, hopefully I answer your question at the same time.
Yeah, you have President Curry. Thank you. No further questions. I'll turn the floor back over to Madam President.
Dr. LeBlanc.
No questions.
All right. Trustee Ramos.
No questions.
Trustee Calhoun.
Yes. That was one of my questions, and Dr. Curry did answer it. Trustee Benson, do you get an email with my questions and the answers that Dr. Curry sends out to the board members?
I've been having problems with my internet at my house. I had to move to another location, and I had to restart my whole computer system again at another location. So if I miss it, I'm sorry.
No. You don't have to be sorry. I was just wondering if Dr. Curry is Mr. Atkins included. I send in my questions.
Yes.
Does he get them also, Dr. Curry?
Yes.
Okay. I just wanted to make sure that you do get them. And I'm sorry that you're having problems with your computer, but Dr. Curry already answered the question, so we can move on.
All right, thank you.
Mhm.
Again, I'm sorry.
Do you have anything?
Fine.
Do you have anything further, Trustee Calhoun?
No.
All right, Dr. Dr. Little.
No, I don't have a specific question, but the questions about Securitas, I think even when we hire, I have found that they have been really good in addition to our police force. And I'm just wondering, will there be a consideration of continuing with them as additional force?
That's a complicated question, right? Because it goes with the budget for the district, and then also too with the call to action, which we haven't got into the details regards to the review of police services on our campus and how do we reimagine those types of services. So that's going to be a part of the review that we move forward with regards to our operations, and we'll be putting together a committee as it relates to that. I just haven't had a chance yet to bring forth this committee and ask the board members for recommendations, but we're going to be trying to get that started this spring semester. But I think that'd be a part of that entire conversation regards to how we reimagine police services in this environment, but then also to the budget of the district as we move forward.
Thank you.
All right, thank you very much, everyone. Ms. Paula, can you call the question?
Trustee Ramos? Trustee Ramos?
Aye.
Dr. Little?
Aye.
Dr. LeBlanc?
Aye.
Trustee Calhoun?
Aye.
Trustee Atkins?
Aye.
Trustee Lopez?
Aye.
Thank you.
Thank you. Moving on to item number 14.05, facilities planning and development, contracts over 96,700, Priest Construction Incorporated. Can I get a motion?
So moved.
Second.
It's been moved by Trustee Calhoun and seconded by Trustee Ramos. Do we have any discussion? Trustee Benson?
No discussion.
All right. Dr. LeBlanc?
No discussion. Thank you.
Trustee Ramos?
No discussion.
Trustee Calhoun?
No discussion.
Dr. Little?
No discussion.
All right. Thank you very much, Ms. Pollack. I call a question.
Trustee Atkins?
Aye.
Trustee Ramos?
Aye.
Dr. Little?
Aye.
Dr. LeBlanc? Dr. LeBlanc?
Aye.
Trustee Calhoun?
Aye.
Trustee Lopez?
Aye.
Thank you.
Thank you. Moving on to item number 15, discussion and action. Our first up is the California Community College Trustee Fellowship Intercession Project. Dr. Curry.
Just want to provide an update. I'm working with our consultant regards to this project that Dr. LeBlanc, Dr. Little, and also Board President Lopez. Our goal is to have our next meeting with our coach on February 25th. Make sure I got that right. In February, I want to say is the 25th or 24th. Let me just double check.
It was the 25th.
The 25th. And then I have a meeting with the consultant on the 24th. And so I'm trying to get everything ready to move this project forward for the spring semester as we move forward. But that's all I have to update on the board.
All right, so no action needs to be taken from us, or no suggested action, correct?
Correct.
All right, moving on to item number 15.02, Compton Community College District Legislative Priority and Legislative Advocacy Handbook. Dr. Curry.
So at the last board meeting, we provided the board a review of the handbook and any questions or comments or concerns. the issue we have now is legislative meetings. Since the CCLC conference, the way it's set up online. And what's been very difficult for us is to try to figure out how to schedule our meeting with our legislators. And my recommendation to the board, if the board is okay with this, is I find out your availability over the next 2 to 3 weeks to schedule individual meetings with our elected officials over the next 2 to 3 weeks. It's very difficult to try to schedule it for one day based off of everyone's schedule. And so I'm hopeful that the board will be okay with that. And then we can start scheduling meetings over the next 3 weeks to talk about legislative agenda with our elected officials. And then working your schedule, with my schedule, and our staff schedule, so we'll be able to pin down some time with the elected officials. If the board is okay with that,
Well,
then we start.
is it possible? Wait, is it possible that you can have it on one day, since we normally would be meeting with everyone on that one day? If you know,
we could do that, but I also think it could be helpful if you let us know your availability for the next 3 weeks, and then we could try to make it work for one day for your elected officials. Some of you do not have crossover in some areas.
Oh,
we're just trying to figure out a way of how to do this.
Okay. Thank you.
So the board's okay with that. I can send an email out tomorrow asking for your availability over the next 3 weeks. And then we can start working with our elected officials in regards to some times that we can have scheduled with those meetings. And then if some would like to have them all the same day, we can try to make that work.
Yeah, I would prefer all in one day.
For your area.
So would I. And,
Okay.
and I probably won't be on all of them anyway, right? So I would be on the one that, like, the crossover, I don't know, but I'm just saying, if it could be done in one day, who's ever available, then that's fine. Let's just do that.
Okay, so I'll be sending an email out to the board members and try to work the scheduling to try to get this done over the next 3 weeks. And for some of the board members, you like to have it the same day. I just need some direction of how to move forward. That helps me out a lot.
All right. Any other discussion? All right, given that there's no action, we're moving on to item number 16. We have under grant items, administrative services grants, Pritzker, foster care.
15.03.
Oh, I apologize. Let me go back to 15.03, follow-up to public comment regarding Compton Community College District employment advancement. Dr. Curry.
So this is an item that was brought forward from public comment. The board wanted to have some information. So I included the classified personnel commission rules. I included the faculty selection procedure and also administrative hiring procedure. Trustee Calhoun had a question in regards to those two procedures, but under the board policy review schedule, they're up for review this year. And so we'll be taking the language that refers to El Camino out of those procedures. Then we also provided the board with the data regards to the hiring outcomes, so you can be able to see where, if individuals were in previous position with the college, were they hired into a higher level position, and that was provided as well in the document. And it's open to board for discussion or any questions.
All right, I'll start off with Trustee Benson. Do you have any discussion?
No discussion, thank you.
All right, Dr. LeBlanc.
No discussion.
Trustee Ramos.
No discussion.
Trustee Calhoun.
You answered, that was my question, and you answered why El Camino was a part of it. So you answered that question. Thank you.
All right, Dr. Little.
No question, thank you.
All right, thank you very much. There's no action item that you are recommending, correct?
No.
All right. Moving on to item number 16, Administrative Services Grants, Pritzker Foster Care Initiative Grant. Can I get a motion?
So moved.
Second.
It's been moved by Dr. LeBlanc and seconded by Trustee Ramos. Do we have any discussion? Trustee Benson.
No discussion, thank you.
All right, no problem. Dr. LeBlanc.
No discussion.
Trustee Ramos.
No discussion.
Trustee Calhoun. Oh, wait. Sorry, she had to step away. Dr. Little.
No discussion.
All right, see no discussion. Ms. Paula, can you do a roll call?
Yes. Trustee Calhoun?
She had to step away.
Oh, I'm sorry. Dr. LeBlanc?
Aye.
Dr. Little,
Aye.
Trustee Ramos,
Aye.
Trustee Atkins,
Aye.
Trustee Lopez.
Aye.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Moving on to item number 17, board policies and administrative regulations. This is usually an open forum to talk about a specific one. So before I move it over to Dr. Curry to take over, I wanted to ask if there was any particular item that the board members wanted to go into further discussion. And I will start off with Trustee Benson.
No discussion.
Thank you. Dr. LeBlanc?
No discussion.
Trustee Ramos?
No discussion.
Dr. Little?
No discussion.
And Trustee Cahoon? I didn't know if you were back. Okay. Dr. Curry, the floor is yours.
So I just want to bring to your attention in the document is our the board policies and administrative regulations up for review this year. We have identified those policies and administrative regulations and also attempted a schedule based off of the 3-year timeline. We'll be meeting with the Academic Senate tomorrow to look at their policies and also their timeline and be able to get their feedback. But I'm really excited about what we're doing with board policies and the amount of work we're putting into it for our organization. If you have your binders need to be updated, please schedule time with Paula Van Brown so we can be able to turn your binder in and then the staff can be able to update your binder. Trustee Calhoun has already submitted her binder. Ooh. And that's all that I have for this section.
All right, thank you very much. Moving on to item number 18, information items. Dr. Curry.
So I just want to bring to, there's 3 things in here I want to bring forward. Item 18.08 is our midterm report for first reading. At our next board meeting, we'll be bringing that forward for approval by the board. Also, 18.10 is a update on AB 705. I want to say thank you to the team for putting that report together for the college. Also, 18.12 is our SOA, which are Scale of Adoption of Guided Pathways. This is our report that's due to the Chancellor's Office in March. So I want to make sure we share that with you. And then the final thing I want to talk about is 18.20. Can you open that for me, please? And an open attachment. So what I want to talk about, and I put this in one of my newsletters to the campus, was our irrevocable trust for our futurists, which is for our OPEB, other post-employee benefit liability, and also for our PERS and STIRS trust account. So you can see, and we look at this for every single day. If you go last page, keep going. Boom, stop right there. Stop right there. Before first page, then I go last, right there. So as you recall, in the spring, the board approved for us to deposit $3.75 million into our OPEB accounts. At the beginning of the year, we started at $4 million, and then we had included another $3 million in April. And then again, with the trust account for PERS and STIRS, we included $1 million. As most people know, the market was shaky last year because of COVID. However, we ended up with a bang. So if you go to December 31st, so we begun the year with our OPEB liability and our fund was about $3 million. Now we're at $10 million in our trust. And then also in our PERS and STIRS, we have $4.1 million. I'm really excited about where we're at. Our liability is at about $14 million for the district. I will be bringing forth a recommendation at the next board meeting to make an increase in payment for the OPEB and also for PERS and STIRS this year. The reason why is because I would love for the district to have this liability funded before 2024, 2025. And the reason why is because then we could be able to use this money to help pay for our OPEB liability, our pay-as-you-go, which will save the district long term. And so I'll be bringing forward a recommendation at the next board meeting to increase our payment for the PERS and STIRS and also for the OPEB. But overall, if you look at our investments, they're doing very well. The goal is to have the liability fully funded. The board has already approved tonight. We're going to do another study as of June 30th for our liability. Hopefully it stays at $14 million. But previously at 1 year, it's $11 million, now it's 14. Hopefully it stays in that $14 to $15 million range. But I'm really excited about where we're at. And you can close that one out. Is there any questions? And that concludes my updates on the information section, unless anybody has any other questions about the information items.
No questions. Good
All
job.
right, moving on to item number 19, future agenda items. The first one up, Dr. Curry. Actually, this is section 2.
So I just want to let people know we're working on our financial audit. The auditors a week ago received the information from the federal government of how to audit the CARES Act dollars. So our goal with our new Vice President of Administrative Services, who you approved tonight, which I'm going to introduce later on, our goal is to bring those forward back to you in February. And then also the bond audit, EOPS and CARE presentation at the next board meeting, the update on Oliver W. Connor, the statewide update on the budget, and then a couple reports as well. So we have a heavy agenda, and then we also have some follow-up items from today's meeting that we will agendize.
All right, moving on to item number 20, oral reports. Dr. Curry.
I have a couple items. One is I want to say on February 10th and 11th, we have our professional development days. February 10th is the optional day that's organized by the Academic Senate. February 11th is our mandatory day. And we're finalizing the schedule tomorrow with the Academic Senate. I do also want to welcome Dr. Abdul Nazar, who is our new Vice President of Administrative Services. He's coming to us from San Francisco City College. And then also Dr. Curl DeLilly, who is coming to us from Mount St. Mary's College as our Associate Dean for Nursing. Also in this board agenda tonight, you approved 3 new faculty members, which I'm really excited about. The first one is our first film and video instructor in a number of years who will be focused on social media. As the board knows, we're trying to create this social media program. And so really excited about that hire. Also a chemistry instructor. And then we also hired a history instructor who has background in ethnic studies. I also wanted to provide an update on Sunrise Produce regards to the food distribution. We should know today or tomorrow if they're extended through April. It's been a long time trying to wait for this approval date, but we're hopeful that we find out tomorrow regards to that. Next, I want to update the board on or provide update is that we're working on a new program called the Tartar Employee Support Services, where I provide more information at the next board meeting. We will provide support to our employees during this time of COVID-19, because our employees do also need support as well. We want to bring more information to the board at the next meeting. And that concludes my updates. Thank you very much.
Okay, moving on to our student trustee report.
Yes, I'm sorry. First of all, I want to say Happy New Year for everybody on the board. Looking for a new semester. I already registered for my classes for this coming semester, and I'm working on some things, and I'm happy to report that a lot of our returning students and current students are happy because they are happy that they're getting their classes. I'm happy about that. And also, I'm very happy of the wonderful job that the Compton Community College District, along with my fellow board members, the excellent job of our wonderful President CEO, a wonderful job. I know he has a busy schedule, but I really, really appreciate it. And also, just want to let everybody know that my goals are to continue working with everybody on campus, including the new students. The new students are returning and the new students are coming, and I want to work closely with them. So to sum everything, again, I'm happy. I'm looking for the new year to go off and looking forward to see all my wonderful family at Compton College back on campus soon. So that's my report for this meeting, and I turn the floor over back to Madam President. Madam President, you have the floor. One more thing I forgot to add to my report, and I'm especially happy and honored to see one of my friends that I know from Senate, Vice President Harris. I know her from the time I was working at LAUSD, and I'm happy that she's our first African American vice president. I'm happy about that. So, and great to have the election president Biden coming in. So that's this is my conclude my report, and I turn the floor back over to Madam President. You have the floor.
Thank you so much. Moving on to Board of Trustees report 20.03, Dr. LeBlanc.
Thank you very much. I'd like to begin by thanking Dr. Curry and the staff for pulling together Black History Month report, calendar early. Looking forward to that program. I am happy to welcome all of our new faculty and staff to Compton College, and a special shout out to Ms. Pilar Huffman for her great work in pulling together the receptions and reaching out to our new family members coming to Compton College. I'd like to thank Dr. Curry for all the updates that he sends us on COVID and so many important items related to the school. And also, if we could maybe send a thank you note to Dr. Helen Benjamin for the trainings that she has provided to the board. We had one in December, and so she's been consistently with the board, and for that continuance of professional development for us, it would be nice for us to send a nice little note to her, thanking her for her continued service to us. Happy belated MLK Day. Many of you probably participated in a day of service, and I'm happy to report that with Paramount, I was able to host a fireside chat on the topic of quality education for all. And that was yesterday during the day of service, part of the inaugural presidential activities. I too, as our student trustee, expressed am very happy about the upcoming new administration, just counting the hours and minutes to that inauguration. I was scheduled to be in DC all of this week, and I will not be there because of the activities that have taken place on January 6th. But I am very, very happy that the people of this great nation have spoken, and that we are able to bring back democracy and decency to our nation. Everyone continue to be safe, keep cautious of the COVID-19 and everything else that is associated with that. The virus is real, but at the meantime, keep on living. Do not become a hostage. Enjoy your life. God bless.
Thank you. Moving on to Trustee Ramos.
I just wanted to say Happy New Year and Happy MLK Day. And thanks to the staff for all the work that you put into the board meetings and everything else. It's very detailed, the agenda reports. And I also wanted to mention that I will not be able to attend both conferences due to work this time around because it's online. It's only taking place during the week, and unfortunately I cannot take time off work for that. But hopefully I'll be able to make some of the online legislative visits. And yes, please take COVID serious because it's affecting a lot of people. And I don't think enough people are taking it serious. That's all I have. Thank you.
Thank you. Trustee Calhoun.
Good evening, everybody. Just a couple of thoughts. I agree about the COVID. Wear your mask. If not for me, for yourself and your family. Wear your mask. See, look. Mask. Still have it. I keep it on. Happy belated MLK Day. The thing that happened on January 6th, it's a travesty. As people of color, we are aware that racism is alive and well. We know it, we see it, it affects us, and we keep our head up and we fight the good fight. But what happened on January the 6th were people, not just ordinary people, police officers, people in the Army, the Navy, all over that was a part of that. And so Black Lives Matter was in Washington, D.C. They were surrounded by National Guard, Capitol Police, regular police. Probably had the FBI and the CIA, and also the police that didn't have no kind of signal on them that 45 sent out there. But they had word about this January the 6th. And they did nothing. So they stormed the Capitol, stole things. Police officer killed, a lady was killed. And they come to find out she was in the Army. Downtown LA, they had a riot. We know that racism is alive. Other people try to hide their head like there's no such thing as racism. There's all kinds of isms around in this United States of America. We know it, we saw it. What a travesty. I can't wait to see the inauguration of Biden and his wife, along with Kamala Harris and her husband. And I don't care if Melania and Donald Trump don't welcome them in there. For 4 years, everybody knew what he was like. So, Dr. Curry. Oh, I am so glad about Sunrise. Sunrise helped the community of Compton. Every Thursday or the Wednesdays that the staff was out there that volunteered their time. 30 boxes of food for students, staff, faculty, the community. That's what Compton College is all about. It's Compton Community College. So Compton Community College is in the community and helping the community. And we need to get that word out a lot more, that's what Compton College is all about. Not just on the Facebook, do an ad in the Sentinel, what Compton College is doing to help with our community. So I'm looking forward to Sunrise again. I know a lot of people know May Thomas and a lot of people don't know May Thomas. May Thomas is the longest reigning Compton Unified School District Board of Trustees ever. And she's not going to run anymore. And so, Dr. Curry, I would like for you to get in touch with the superintendent, please, and find out when May Thomas started and when is her end date, because she anymore. To see Compton College give her a plaque for her exceptional service. For her exceptional service in the Compton community. That's what I would like to see.
Trustee Calhoun, you wanted that during Black History Month?
I wanted, yes. I would like to, hold on. Yes, I would like for it to be done during Black History Month. I would like for her to, just like we like to get our flowers, I'd like for her to get that plaque. Not a piece of paper in a folder, an actual plaque during Black History. And Dr. Curry, Mr. Warren continues to ask that question. I don't know if you have talked or met with Mr. Warren, but somebody needs to meet with Mr. Warren to give him the answers that he is looking for when it comes to upward mobility, taking classes, wanting to be a plumber. Somebody needs to give him an answer. And other than that, I'd like to thank my board members and everybody, and Happy New Year to everybody. And let's be safe. Let's be safe. Thank you.
All right, moving on to Dr. Little.
Yes, first of all, I want to thank Dr. Curry and the entire staff for their continued leadership and work throughout this time. Thank you again for the great presentation this evening on DEI, both Tina and Pilar. I also am very grateful for our leadership, President Lopez and our entire board. And as was stated before, Happy New Year. I am also really encouraging each of us to take care of ourselves and our community. We lost many people in our community, but Father Francisco, if any of you are familiar with Our Lady of Victory Church, passed this past week, which is a huge loss in our community. So I would just want to honor him. I also want to, as we prepare for tomorrow's inauguration, be thankful for transition, new leadership, and just look forward to a unified country. And again, education is at core. And so I think we have to continue to lift up the work that we're doing here in Compton College, to continue to seek to increase our student participation and engagement, and to really serve as a model, as we have been doing, really to expand the reach of what is happening virtually and on our campus. Thank you.
All right, thank you very much. And my report, I just wanted to welcome our new faculty. We did host prior to our board meeting a welcoming session, and we welcomed a couple of them. And so again, extending that welcome. Happy New Year, Merry Christmas to everybody that we haven't been able to connect with. I'm hoping to look forward to seeing some of my board members in the upcoming conferences. If you have registered, I will be presenting in one of them if you want to stop on by. Moving on to item number 21, the next regularly scheduled board meeting is set for Tuesday, February 16th. Closed session will be at 4 o'clock. Open session will be at 5 o'clock. Today we are adjourning in memory of Bishop Howard A. Swansea, Gloria J. Ingram, Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. Dr. Little, I believe you said it was Father. Can you repeat the name you just recently mentioned during your report?
Father Francisco?
Yes, thank you.
Yes.
Father Francisco, Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., and COVID-19 victims. All right, it is now 6:37 and this meeting is adjourned. Thank you very much, everyone.
Thank you.
Dr. Little, was that Francisco from Our Lady of Victory?
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, no.
Yes, he passed of COVID, and he's a giant in our community. So
Yes, he is.
keep the congregation in prayer.
Oh, I will. Oh, no. Okay, thank you.
Have a good